What if I told you that the deepest secrets of the universe aren't hidden on some remote mountaintop, but in something as simple as going to get lunch? It sounds a little crazy, I know, but today we're diving into an ancient Buddhist text that does exactly that. It takes a simple walk into town for a meal and turns it into this absolutely mind-bending lesson on the very nature of reality.
So, where are we getting all this from? Well, our guide today is this text right here, a sutra, which is a sacred teaching. And it's all about a conversation between two enlightened beings. Just look at that title, the Supreme Pure Alms Round. It's not just any lunch break, it's a supreme, pure one. And believe me, we are about to find out exactly what that means.
So this really is the big question for us today. Can something so ordinary actually unpack the secrets of the cosmos? It seems pretty out there, right? But this ancient text uses this everyday scenario to get into some of the most profound ideas in all of Eastern philosophy. And the answer, as we're about to see, is a huge, surprising yes.
Okay, let's set the scene. Picture ancient India, the city of Shravasti. Our story kicks off with this incredibly important figure, a bodhisattva, who's just about to do something he does every day: walk into the city to receive food offerings from the community. Now, our main character here is the Bodhisattva Ruzhou, and the text goes out of its way to tell us this is not your average person. His wisdom is described as being greater than rivers and seas. He's compared to a fierce lion and a great dragon king. These are massive symbols of spiritual power. So we've got a real spiritual heavyweight on our hands, and he's just decided it's time for lunch.
So as Ruzhou starts his walk, he gets stopped by another bodhisattva, Longshu. And Longshu asks this super simple, everyday question. It's literally what you'd ask a friend you'd bump into on the street. But this one little question, it's the spark that's about to light a huge philosophical fire.
Ruzhou's reply seems pretty standard at first. Oh, I'm just going for an alms round. But then he adds this little phrase that changes everything: to benefit all beings. Whoa. Okay, so this isn't just about getting food anymore. This is an act that has significance for the entire universe. And that's the opening. Longshu needed to go way, way deeper.
And this is where things start to get really wild. Ruzhou uses this simple chat to completely dismantle our normal view of the world. He starts explaining that everything we perceive, the city, the path, the food, even himself, it's not at all what it seems to be. The core concept here is something called shunyata, or emptiness. Now, and this is super important, this doesn't mean that nothing exists. It's not nihilism. It means that nothing exists on its own. Nothing has a fixed, solid, permanent identity. Everything is connected, everything is changing, and nothing has a solid core that you can point to and say, that's it.
So how do you explain such a huge idea? Well, this is where the sutra gets really poetic and beautiful. Ruzhou says that everything we experience, all phenomena, is like a dream, or like a magical illusion, an echo in a valley, a mirage you see on a hot road, a shadow, or even a fragile bubble floating on water. They're there, but they're not solid.
And here's the kicker. Ruzhou explains that because things are like these illusions, they don't really have a true beginning or a solid existence. They're like empty space. Think about it. You can see space, you can move through it, but you can never, ever grab a handful of it. It can't be grasped.
Okay, wait a minute. This creates a huge logical problem, right? If everything is just an illusion, if there's nothing solid to hold on to, then what's the point of a spiritual path? Why would you even try to achieve enlightenment? This is exactly the question that Longshu brings up.
I mean, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's probably what you're thinking right now. If the path I'm on, and me, the person on the path, and the goal I'm trying to reach, if all of it is basically a dream, then what are we even doing? The whole thing should just fall apart.
But Ruzhou's answer just flips the entire script. He shows how the conventional spiritual path is all about striving, grasping, getting something. His path, it's the total opposite. It's not about attaining a goal in the future. It's about realizing what's already here, right now, by acting without clinging to ideas. Even your inner demons aren't enemies to be defeated. They're just part of the illusion, too.
So, who actually walks this path? According to Ruzhou, it's the person who has totally let go of a fixed idea of me. Someone with no name, no fixed identity, no location, and, get this, nothing to do. See, enlightenment isn't a prize you win. It's what's already there when you finally stop trying so hard to get it.
Okay, let's bring all of this incredible, high-level philosophy right back down to earth, back to Ruzhou and his walk to get some food. Because now we can finally understand what a Supreme Pure Alms Round actually is. A pure meal has nothing to do with what kind of food you're eating. The purity is in the mind of the person walking. It's doing this simple act but being completely free of all the little boxes we put things in. There's no separate me walking on a separate path into a separate city to get a gift from a separate person. It's just one single, flowing, indivisible event.
And incredibly, Ruzhou gives us direct instructions on how to do this. He says, when you walk, don't create the idea, I am lifting my foot. And when you put it down, don't think, I am placing my foot down. Just walk. Just move through the world and experience things without your mind immediately grabbing onto them and labeling them. It's a practice in pure, moving awareness.
So, after all that, what's the big takeaway from this Bodhisattva's lunch break? Well, it's a really profound lesson on how to find true freedom, not by running away from the world, but by seeing it for what it really truly is.
You know, when you first hear that life is an illusion or a dream, it can sound pretty bleak, a little depressing, maybe. It can feel like nothing matters. But the sutra says, no, you're looking at it all wrong. That's not the point at all.
So why is it so freeing? Well, think about why we suffer. We suffer because we cling, because we grab onto things, people, jobs, ideas, our own identities, as if they're solid and permanent and we can't lose them. But when you deeply realize that everything is as fleeting as a dream, that desperate, painful need to grasp, it just starts to loosen its grip. And right there, in that release, that's freedom. And get this, the text presents this as a complete game changer, a point of no return. Once you truly, deeply get this perspective, once you see the freedom that comes from recognizing the dreamlike nature of reality, you can't unsee it. You'll never go back. It's a fundamental shift that changes absolutely everything.
And so, this incredible ancient story leaves us with a final question. It's not a riddle with a simple answer. It's a question for you to live. If this is all a dream, how does that change things? How does it change the way you walk down the street, the way you treat people, the way you face your day? That's really something to think about.